Welcome to another Legacy of the Void build order. Today I will go through the double Cyclone Drop with 8 Marines. You can either drop 8 Marines or you can drop 2 Cyclones, it's up to you. So it starts with a regular 14 supply depot. Then after that we go for gas first, so we'll build the gas at 15 supply. This build is intended to make some harass while you macro up at home. So you can stay at home and defend with this build as well and not be behind in the macro game. So it's really a versatile build actually. So and then you add 16 barracks. And after that you want to macro up and build a command center after the barracks is finished. And you should scout at 17 supply in TvT, so then you have time to react if you don't see any barracks or anything built in your enemy's base. Then you can put down second barracks yourself, and then you have time to build a bunker for any possible cheese that is incoming. So when the barracks is finished, you start the Orbital Command and then you build a Reaper, because we need the Reaper in TvT to defend against an incoming Reaper. Reaper is really a standard these days in TvT. So then you go for a command center, and if you scout cheese, you can build your command center at your high ground. But for this case of this build, I will build it on the low ground. So there it goes, the command center. Sweet. And then at 21 supply, we build a factory. I usually build the factory first, then I drop a mule, and then I start the SCV. But yeah, and then you add a refinery. But first off, you build a reactor. Yes, and then you build the refinery. And then you build the supply depot. That's the order I like to do it. You can start the refinery and then add the reactor. But then you need to build a supply depot to not get supply blocked. Alright, and then when the barracks is done, you start your marine production, and you never stop producing marines. You will have constant marine production in this build. And then when the factory is done, you build a cyclone. So you start your 2 marines. Ba-doom. And then you start your cyclone when you can afford it. Accidentally didn't build it right away, but there you go. And then after that you build a starport when you have 100 gas. Gaboom. And as I said, you will have a constant marine production, so you can get up to 8 marines as fast as possible. And then when the cyclone is done, you build one more, because this build is intended to have 2 cyclones. And yeah, you drop your mules of course and keep up SCV production. And after that, it's really important that you build supply depots. Around 3 minutes and 36 seconds or 40 supply, it depends on how you have kept up with the macro. And then after this, I won't tell you to build more supply depots. You should know when to build them after this. So then when the starport is done, you build a Medivac and you keep up with your marine production. And yeah, as a tip, you can dedicate 1 SCV to build supply depots. After that, you've completed the double cyclone with 8 marine opening. So when the Medivac pops, it's time to attack. So you can either drop 2 cyclones or 8 marine in their base, or as I said, defend incoming attacks and keep up the macro game. Be aware of the standard important TvT timings. The first banshee, raven or liberator will hit your base at around 4 minutes and 20 seconds. And the cloak will be done around at the same time, depending on the build, 420 to 430. So you could, as a tip, scan for tech lab on the enemy starport at 3 minutes or 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And the general macro follow-up is you can build a widow mine, and then you can build a Viking, and then you can add engineering base and build barracks 2 or 3. And then you can add a command center. And of course this is up to you. You can add a command center right away and then delay the second and third barracks, but in TvT I prefer to go for earlier barracks, so you don't lose to incoming attacks. So that's the general idea of this build, and thank you for watching, and I plan to make even more videos like this, so if you enjoyed, don't hesitate to leave a like and write a comment about the content I'm making, and yeah, be sure to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!